Hello everyone! Today we're going to be talking about Venus square Jupiter, mainly in your natal chart, but I will go over how it affects us all whenever it's in transit. Actually, I can just cover that really quick. Whenever Venus and Jupiter are square in a transit, we have a tendency to overindulge, and we just are really dumb and can't focus on really serious things. So it's the best thing to do during these transits are to just be playful and have fun, but not overextend ourselves, overindulge, overspend, because Venus square Jupiter, that's like the main point, is overindulgence, is overspending, overdoing it, over drinking, overeating, over anything. So Venus is the planet of attraction, of love, of beauty. So Venus is the planet of love, beauty, and attraction, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of luck. Some say luck. Jupiter is some have described it as your fun uncle who your Saturn dad is being really hard on you. So you can't have this, you're grounded, you're a bad kid, you did this, this, and this, but then your Jupiter uncle comes around and it's like, I'll sneak you some of this. I'll let you have a drink of my beer. I'll sneak you some candy. I'll help you out a little bit. So Jupiter is about expanding and about luck and about really just pleasure and enjoying all the things that the world has to offer. So whenever they are in a square, whenever Venus and Jupiter are in a square, that means that there is some tension there. So there's a tension between what you're attracted to, what you find beautiful, what you love, and what you want to expand on, how your luck is going to shape out, and the extra stuff in life. Those who have Venus square Jupiter in their chart, they can tend to it goes two ways. So they have a tendency to overextend themselves, to be over generous to their partners, and so their partners can't fulfill, they can't return the generosity, and two, they overpromise. So and it's not ill intent, they just have all this love in their heart, all this expansion in their heart, and they just want to give, love, 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 and there's only so much that they can give. So others may be disappointed by this, and those with the Venus square Jupiter aspect have a tendency to not follow through on their promises and their responsibilities. And the other way it can go is not giving enough of yourself, because any generosity that you may have ulterior motives. You don't give of yourself, you don't extend yourself unless there's a guarantee that someone is going to get that in return. And it's pretty likely, I assume, that it's very likely that you came to this second way of thinking because you overextended yourself in the first part of your life. Let's see. And it's just it's like this a too much element to your personality, to live beyond your means. A lot of times you will borrow from your future to satisfy some sort of craving today, and it could be that's exactly what it is a craving, a craving for love, a craving for sex, a craving for drugs, alcohol, food, shopping. There is a natural tendency to love like travel, so there may even be an overextending in traveling. But I think with this over generosity of yourself, it's like you might assign characteristics to people you are attracted to that they don't actually have because of that generous spirit of Jupiter. So the generous spirit of Jupiter wants to expand, so you want to expand to others. And some people just aren't worth expanding on, you know. Some people just aren't worth your time and energy. So those with Venus square Jupiter really have to work on leveling out their energies and not overdoing it into one area of their life. So what happens whenever you promise something and then aren't able to deliver? Sometimes you run into opposition, right? Some people don't like that. Some people think you're not good on your promises. And there is a tendency on your part to get really angry about that, thinking like, they just don't understand me. And you want to do things in your own time and your own way, and you think it's a lack of misunderstanding on their part, but actually actually there are adjustments that sometimes need to be made. So a person might very well understand you, but responsibilities still need to be fulfilled. So the lesson of Venus square Jupiter is to take care of your responsibilities first, and then indulge later, and then satisfy your cravings later. Treat yourself later, but don't treat yourself first. Take care of the things you need to take care of first, and then you can have fun and all the expansion you want. There tends to be an exaggeration for the future because, overextending yourself, I think you see more of a future than is actually possible in a lot of situations. There's also a tendency to think like you're hot shit, that everyone wants you. For this particular reading that I'm about to get into, she actually does seem like hot shit. But for Venus square Jupiter, one of the messages is that you think everyone is like desperate to be with you. Everyone is like drawn to you, but the reality is you may actually be desperate for attention. So you go to these like crazy means of getting it, these like ulterior motive, sneaky tactic ways of getting attention. But you're really good at, these people are really good at communication and travel and guidance and public relations, and they really are good with people. I mean, sometimes that confidence, I guess, can be attractive in itself, right? So the lesson is to scale back on promises and be more generous of your authentic self. Don't promise that which is not of yourself. Promise what you know you can give, what you know you can deliver on, and give that. I was so blessed to have one of my subscribers offer their birth information for free, so I am going to show you an example of a reading that I do. And I have to say that I recorded the star chart reading and the tarot reading, and then I deleted because I was recording it from my phone. And I deleted everything in my phone. So I feel like the star chart reading went better, but the tarot reading, I feel like it had more soul the first time. So I apologize for that, but I am so grateful that I got to read this. If you would like a personal reading, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me through my website. It's a work in progress. You can reach me through my website or via email. I will post those down in the description box below. I am really grateful that you provided me with this information. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope to see you back. And definitely come back for the free monthlies. Thanks. So the first thing that caught my eye was this Venus, and it's so interesting to me because it's like on the edge of everything. You have the 12th house here, and this is our house of like karmic debts and undoing is what they call it, the house of undoing. So it's just like these really like tough lessons, spiritual battles that we have to like pass the test in this life. And then you have your Venus on your ascendant, and your ascendant, I haven't really studied that much about ascendants. A lot of people talk about them, but from what I gather, they're what you are like growing into be, or how people see you. So ascendant, rising, so what you it's like rising from the 12th house into the first house, like a transformation, like a resurrection. And so then it's like on the edge of this first house too, and the first house is your personality, how, like an overt way to see you. So like I see this, and it's like this Venus is such a huge part of how others see you, your lessons in life. What I gather is you don't really, like, this isn't really, you've had some struggles, but it's not as hard as other lessons, because you're like right on the edge. Like you need like the bonus question in this life, to pass the test. Like this life is just bonus round. So yeah, I like that because I see a lot of like travel and friendship. And so that feels like a bonus life, so good on you. I want to live a bonus life. Okay, so the interesting thing about this Venus is, like, what I got from it and from the reading is, I got the sense of being a relationship coach or a matchmaker, or helping people with relationships. And I felt like it started with you giving advice to your friends, and then your friends' friends, and then your friends' friends' friends, and then like I see this like big network, and this may come like later on in life, but I just see you having this like unconventional approach to relationships, but like a really good perspective on them. So your Venus is in Aquarius, and Aquarians are the unconventional, they're out of the box. So Venus, what you're attracted to, what others are attracted in you, it's a little unusual, like it's a little outside of the box. And I want to say Venus is not only the planet of love, but it's also the planet of beauty. And they're probably, a lot of people are probably drawn to you because you just have a lot of like super beauty about you, like charisma, like sometimes maybe even to a little manipulative. If you don't like tame it, I could see it being a little manipulative, working your wiles. But you have Venus, and it's positively aspected with
your Lilith and with your Juno. And so that's like, that's so interesting too, because Juno is the wife and Lilith is, some say she's the other woman. She could also be like the independent woman. Let's see, she's in your 10th house. So this Lilith, and she's the Sagittarius. This Lilith, this like Lilith is like your girl power. This Lilith values her career and she wants freedom. And her Juno wants the same thing. So you might attract love from your career. And I definitely see that with this Mars and Venus that are trine, which is beautiful. And that's another way, another reason why I think like you have this great relationship advice, because your feminine and your masculine are so like balanced and in sync that excuse me, you can see both sides of a relationship. And it can be, you know, female, female, male, male, but masculine, feminine energies you have a unique take on. And it's interesting, this Mars is on the cusp of Libra and Scorpio. And Libra is all about partnerships, marriages, yeah, being a partner, being a good other for someone. And then we have Scorpio. Oh, wait, this is Virgo. This changes things. Because my last reading, I said it was Scorpio. That's how I had been reading it. Virgo, work and service. So again, yeah, you might meet him through work. And there's also like Virgo is work and service, and you have a positive aspect to your Juno and your Lilith in your 10th house of career. Interesting. And because now I see like how it ties in together still. So you have this like partnership and you have this work and service. So what I also got is maybe one of these days, if and when, or maybe you have already met your, you know, perfect partner. I feel like you are going to set examples, like your relationship is going to set an example for the lessons you teach in, you know, this relationship advice, this dating coaching, this matchmaking. Like, it's going to be modeled after that relationship somehow. There is a square from your Venus and your Ceres and Pluto. So what I get right here is Ceres is the mother and Pluto is very intense. And so I get this like smothering energy. Like maybe within relationships, within friendships, within just anyone you care about. I think maybe there is an intensity that comes easy for you, but doesn't come easy for others. And so maybe it's a little off-putting. And I would say whenever you do experience that, the key to unlock that is to channel these two elements. But I also think because this is positively aspected with this these set of planets right here, that whenever you feel challenged in a smothering way, you should turn to your friends and kind of spread out your energy. Like, don't pour it all into one person. spread out your emotions. So whenever the smothering comes on, make sure you just hang out with other people and rap with them, because it looks like you are a people person. You're Sagittarius, so Sagittarius is free and adventurous. And I do see a lot of travel. I keep picking up a cruise ship. I don't know if you worked on a cruise ship or if you want to go on a cruise, but I'm seeing like you actually working on it, like as a, cruise ship attendant, maybe a flight attendant, but I definitely get boat. And so maybe part of this adventurousness and travel, I feel like you're going through that experience. You're going to, or you have connected with friends that are going to be good networking opportunities throughout life, and quite possibly your partner for life. But there's so many interesting aspects. I just really wanted to cover Venus today. So we have Venus, I believe this is a sextile. Yeah. Venus, actually, it looks like that's Vesta, but these are both together. Okay, yeah, these are together. So Vesta, yeah, that's your sister. So there's a lot of like positive female energies together. But yes, so I'm daydreaming now, getting like lost in your chart. Venus, sextile Juno Lilith and Juno, and then your Venus square Ceres and Pluto, and your Venus trine your Mars. You can look up this information online, and they can tell you more in-depth descriptions. I did a little bit of research before I read, but I tried to intuit a lot too. So I hope you found that reading interesting. If you are interested in a past life reading, I know a very good psychic who does one, and I can refer you to her. 201. 201, born on December 17th, 1981, in Rio Piedras, I hope I'm saying that right, Puerto Rico, at 9:40 a.m. Spirit, what are the messages for 201? And the first message that I'm going to ask is, let me get it out. I had to make notes so that I can keep track. There's a lot going on. Okay, so the first one, we're doing Venus square Pluto and Ceres. And I realized I didn't say this in your star chart, but it's also square your Jupiter, which kind of like has a like unlucky in love quality. Actually, I don't like this. Okay, so Venus square Pluto and Ceres. Venus square Jupiter. First, let me do. Okay, Venus square Pluto. Opportunity, wave, Ooh, remember how I said the boat, the cruise? Interesting, interesting. So we got opportunity, wave, and transformation. Okay. 201, 201. This like setup is a wave. My cards are all waving all over the place, like woo. There's like palm trees in the back. It's perfect. It's being on a beach, being on the ocean, on a ship. Okay, that was my last one. So opportunity, Princess of Swords. Okay. Wave, the Hierophant reversed. That's like Uranus. Like, you know how Uranus is like unconventional. Uranus is out of the box, thinking outside of the box, doing things differently, going against the grain, not being like everyone else. When the Hierophant is upright, it usually means like a very structured organization, church. This is like a high priest. You know, his like really like clerical hat and like embroidered robes, and but upside down it's like rebel. So you have a rebel wave. Ooh. And then for transformation we have the Lovers. Okay, so what was I asking about? Venus, square, Pluto, and Ceres, and Jupiter. So if this is, I mean, if you meet like your lover on your cruise ship, maybe you already, I'm like blushing because this is so sweet. Okay, so I'm seeing this Princess of Swords, and she's like a very old soul and has a lot of wisdom, and she's like, she asks a lot of like why questions and wants to know, like she's curious, and yeah, just like a quizzical person. You know, this could be male or female. I mean, I don't really see it as either way. But this person is, like, I'm seeing this as a friendship. I can't take my eyes off this falcon, if that means anything to you. I think it's a falcon. But I also, like, with this falcon, I thought of, like, carrier pigeons. So, sending messages. Like a carrier pigeon sending message. Ooh, like a bird flying. They're flying. A carrier pigeon sending messages, like maybe a communication through an email from an old friend, opening you up to this opportunity. It can also be a friendship. I mean, it, like, aside from this lover, maybe, you know, you meet up with a girlfriend who is like, you know, like, it's platonic all the way around, and she just, like, gets this wild hair and wants to go on, like, a singles cruise, and she says, you know, come along with me. I know I keep going back to the cruise ship, but it's all I can see, so watch out for boats, because that's all I'm seeing. Okay, but yeah, it could be a friend outside of this lover situation that presents this opportunity that's just kind of like silly, but sounds so like fun and adventurous that you have to do it. And so this is going to take you on the wave. No, this is the Chariot in the traditional tarot. And the Chariot is a lot like the Hierophant reverse, because the Chariot shows a man in armor in his chariot driving out of civilization, and he's pulled by two horses that are going in different directions. So it's kind of like a wilderness card, like a frontier card, like, bear with me, I'm trying to find the words. Like, being unconventional is being outside of civilization, you know? You're kind of like in an unknown space, and it's a lot like a wave or being out on the ocean. Like, there aren't these solid landmarks. So when you're on the ocean, things are kind of unknown. Then the third card in this spread is transformation. It's the death card. But then we have the Lovers card. So interesting. So it's like, you know, Phoenix rising from the ashes. You die, you're defeated, and then you rise up from the ashes into a beautiful firebird. And that's when this lover comes into the picture. So, Venus square Pluto in Ceres and square Jupiter. The transformation. I feel like whatever this boat thing is, that's the way to unlock your Venus square Pluto in Ceres. So whenever you feel like you're unlucky in love, or you're like too much for some people, if you're like smothering some people, I would take to the seas, whatever that means to you. Okay, your Venus sextile Uranus, Juno, and Lilith. Venus sextile Uranus, Juno, and Lilith. Rest, expansion, devotion, right under the Lovers. Ooh. Six of Wands, victorious. Two of Swords reversed. And then Seven of Pentacles reversed under devotion. Okay, so this transformation that's going to take place is about understanding give and take. It's about understanding to be a little more reserved with yourself so that you're more receptive to someone else's energy. So I feel like there might be a tendency to give and give and give and give of yourself. And then whenever there's not a return on anything, then it's like you've depleted all your emotional resources. So I think this transformation has to happen. The way this transformation is going to happen is by not putting in so much effort. Because this is rest. This tells you to rest. It says you'll be victorious if you rest. And look at this lion. This lazy lion sitting out in the desert. This lazy lion is resting, but he knows that he's king of the jungle. I really think it is a vacation. Like it's like a, or maybe, you know, you should go to your friend about a vacation if you feel like you're in a rut. But it's going to be like, it's going to be like a rebellious thing. And it's not going to be an easy choice. But you want to expand your life. And the choice is like you're caught between a rock and a hard place. And there's just no easy, it's just not an easy choice to make. And you might make it out of rebellion. But I think it's needed in order for you to have more receptivity. Like, let others put work into you. Let others give, like, you don't have to do all the work in the relationship. Let the other person express themselves. Let the other person be romantic. Let the other person show their love. And in order to do that, you might have to step back a little. And it may not come as quickly as you would like. You may have a partner who is just not, they don't have as much passion as you do. You're just a very like fiery person. I see a lot of fire in your chart and a lot of like sass and pizzazz. So they just don't have, they're just, you just have like the energy of two people. It seems, you seem to have a lot of energy. So they, you know, might be a little slower to being so gallant, being so romantic. being so open-hearted. Yeah, okay, so I think we're good with that. Venus trine Mars. Let's do that one. Venus trine Mars. What was that last one? That was Venus sextile Uranus, Juno, and Lilith. The wife and the independent woman. So I think the rock and the hard place might be Juno and Lilith. But it's learning how to balance those two in order to bring the most authentic you out. So Juno is the wife, Lilith is the independent woman. By taking, like, going on a trip, having some fun, traveling, by doing that, you will be both an independent woman and with the right partner, the right partner is going to see that as a good wife too. So they're going to see like the adventurousness, your like adventurous side, and the unconventional, like impulsive, rebel side, and they're going to be drawn to that. So you don't need to put any more work into someone who appreciates you. They like you just the way you are. Okay, back to Venus trine Mars. Venus trine Mars. Body. Celebrate good times, come on, woohoo. What did I tell you about vacations? And goal. Relationship goals. Don't go changing to try and please me. Ooh, look at this one. I feel like this, ooh, Hollywood romance, and you got the lovers. Take you just the way you are. Okay, enough of that silliness. Magician with your body. I think this energy, because this is the devil in traditional tarot. The devil with the magician, the body with the magician. This is that whole, like, you are just like an attractive person. You have Venus in your like house of mystery, so feminine mystique. You have Venus in your ascendant, so how people see you, what you're going to become. And you have Venus in your first house of personality, so it's just like beauty. And then the Magician, like, sorry about that. The Magician is like being able to work the crowd, you know, to like get what you want. Look at the like laser beam eyes. They can get it. They got it. They got it because their body is banging. That means you can just like rest on your laurels like this lazy lion. Okay. What for the goal? Queen of Cups. So, this love might be a water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Is there a symbol on here? She has a little trident. Maybe she's a Pisces. Oh, and there's fish. Yeah, I bet. There's like a Star of David thing here. Interesting. Okay, so I did say Star of David, so you may be dealing with a Jewish person who could be a Pisces, not necessarily. The fish, like, because the cup is the cup suit is the element of water. This still goes along with the wave and the water theme. But Queen of Cups, she is a very like soft, gentle, sweet, warm, tender person, like loving, everyone's best friend, everyone's go-to person, shoulder to cry on, sweetheart, like remembers your birthday and gives you a birthday card and cries during movies and just like a sweetheart. And this goal is the Ten of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. So Ten of Pentacles is like your retirement plan. And part of that whole like retirement plan, like where do you see yourself in 50 years? Part of that has to include, you know, husbands and children and who gets your money after you're gone. So this Queen of Cups who is in your life or enters your life, this person, male or female, is going to be part of this like happy ending of this comfortable life, you know, this like really satisfying, stable life. And you know, I said that the love, I said that your love was going to, like, they may be slow to respond. Like, you're just like you may feel a little insecure, like they don't like you, but I feel like it's like shyness. So you're being like a prideful lion and they're like shy and slow. So, you know, there might be some like, I don't know if they like me. I don't know if they like me. Okay, I asked Venus trine Mars. So this is definitely like you, the feminine side, even though these are two like masculine energies, this is just what I'm feeling. Like, feminine side, working your feminine wiles. And this is like masculine side, who's shy, but will, like, you know, put a roof over your head. Why is the temperature on? Oh my gosh, my camera. Why? I don't know why. Okay, let's draw one last card from the Astrological Oracle. 201, born December 17th, 1981. Pluto reversed. So what did we have? We had Venus square Pluto in Ceres and square Jupiter. I want to do one more. Virgo reversed. Virgo reversed. This, I remember, oh, the connection with Virgo. Remember, I didn't notice it the first time. So maybe it's a Virgo who kind of acts like a warm water sign. Or maybe you just meet them on the water. But there is a likelihood, and you know, Pluto's very passionate and Pluto's very intense. So there may be some sort of like explosion, like some sort of argument where something dies and then makes new again. And it might be at a celebration, but then a like grand makeup, you know, because this is just so like a Hollywood romance. For things to change, it looks like drama is going to have to happen. But it's that drama that like brings you out of, it like makes you shed your skin. It has the transformation, you know. Virgo, if you are dealing with a Virgo, they are perfectionists, sometimes to the point where they don't even try because they're trying to get it so perfect. They are critical. Nothing's ever good enough. They are, they worry a lot about really minute details. But they really, like, they're great too. Because they're perfectionists, they are often perfect in a lot of ways. And they're very smart and very sarcastic and funny. And there's a purity about them that I really like. And they're all about service. So remember I said Venus trine Mars. Mars is on the Libra and Virgo cusp. So it's in a house of partnership and in a house of service. I was really, I had a lot of fun reading this for you, and I feel so honored that you would like give me your birth information for free. Thank you so much for entrusting that in me, and I really appreciate it, and I have had a lot of fun. Thank you.